Okay, so welcome back to the Tea Talk Show. I am your host, Tereill, PA. And if you are new to me, hey, what's up? So, I am a business strategist and a writing coach, and I help purpose driven entrepreneurs create more income, impact, and visibility online and offline by creating your signature service. I extract all of your talents and we package that into your signature service. And I also help writers to write and publish their books. So, hello, welcome. I am the host of the TT Street Show podcast, which is now live streaming on Roku. So you can go to Roku, and on network KTV, you can look up the TT Street Show podcast and you will see my beautiful face there. And you can check out the podcast, which is streaming on TV. Okay, so that is a little bit about me. I'm also the author of My Broken Stiletto. I don't know if you can see it back here. This is my book, yes. And yeah, so today we are doing a 3-part series. We're finishing up on a question that was posed to me, which is one of my frequently asked questions that I get. And so this is the 3rd part to that question. And the question is, if you're wondering like, well, what is the question? Well, the question is, how do I get started with my story because it is so difficult, right? And so I've already done 2 videos. So this is the 3-part to that question. The answer to the question is broken out into 3 videos, okay? The first part of the video, I covered how you should focus on decluttering your environment because that plays a big part of your mindset so that you can be focused. Okay, so make sure you go back and watch that video if you have not. Okay, video number 2 is I talk in detail on how to make sure that you are completely healed from your story and what that looks like. Because if your story is difficult, you know that there are some healing components to that. And so I went into detail on how you should share your story in a way so that you can move forward, right? And so if you haven't watched that, be sure to go back and watch those 2 videos because that is going to make things so much easier. And now today we're going to talk about the final piece of how to write your story even when it's difficult. How do you get started? Okay, so the last piece to this is that, you ready? I hope you're ready. You need an outline. Yes, I cannot stress how much an outline, the importance of an outline. Okay, so if you're wondering like, well, I have an outline, but I still can't get started, then maybe your outline is not set up properly, right? And so let me just say this, not all outlines are created equal, okay? And so I teach my authors who I work with how to create not just an outline, but a blueprint, okay? So what do I mean by a blueprint? A blueprint is something that when I think of blueprint, I think about building a home, right? When you build a home, you have an engineer comes out and you have a blueprint of everything how every little detail of what you want that house to look like, right? You may have a master bedroom that takes up one wing. You may have a kitchen that has a huge island, right? You may know that you want your square footage of your living room or your dining area to be 20 by 20 or whatever it is, right? But you have that blueprint to tell you what every single part of your house is going to look like, right? And so you know that when the builders start building your home, okay, if something is not right, you can go back to that blueprint and say, you know what? We wrote down that I'm supposed to have this over here, and these are the components that go inside of my garage, or these are the components that what my closet should look like, the dimensions and all of these things. And so your story is no different, okay? So your blueprint is that thing that is super important because it's the thing that you go back to, right? And so a lot of times if you have been through college or high school or even through grammar school, you know that when you're writing an essay or something, you do an outline, right? And you just figure out, what are the parts that you're going to talk about, and you may do a little bit of research and you say, okay, I'm going to pull in this and I'm going to pull in that, right? But a blueprint is taking your outline to a whole nother level, okay? And so if you're like, oh, I had no idea that it's this intricate, well, it is this intricate, and here's why. So when I was writing my book, right, I had an outline, but then I had come across, like, as I was doing the process, I had a 3-part process, and it sped up my book. So I did one part of it, and then the second part I did, which was my outline. And then I created a third part, which was the blueprint that I kept going back to, right? So even when I got into publishing and, working with my editor and, we're going back and forth, I knew that I could go back to that blueprint, not the outline, the blueprint, because the outline is just like a rough draft of what the things that you want to talk about. Your blueprint is what you have set in stone. It's like, okay, these specific things is what we are covering. These specific things has to be in my story, and you need to know where they're going to show up. Okay, so are they showing up in the beginning? Are they showing up in the middle? Are they showing up at the end? Do you have your thesis statement together? Do you know what each chapter is about and how it's flowing together, right? And so this truly becomes very valuable, this blueprint, not just as you're writing your story, but when you go into publishing, right? But even after you're done with publishing, when you're getting ready to get speaking engagements or you get ready to take it to the next level, what I have found and what my clients have found is that blueprint is the thing that you will refer back to so that you're not missing a beat, okay? And so if you're wondering like, oh crap, I have not created a blueprint, it's okay. This is my specialty, okay? So in case you are truly new to me and you're unaware of the fact that I have my signature program, which is the Writer's Concierge Blueprint, okay? This is my signature program where I help aspiring authors like you get your story out of your head and done within 8 weeks. Actually, it's 8 weeks, and then you get an additional 4 weeks of support, right? So I'm going to just tell you about this program because the doors are open, okay? And I want you to really understand how you can create your blueprint and how you can get this done so that you can get your book finished, right? So yes, you need to have a great mindset. You need to make sure that you have healed from any of your trauma, but you also need a solid foundation. And that solid foundation is not just a little outline that you're just putting your thoughts on. That outline is actually your blueprint that is going to be the foundation of your story. Okay, so hello to whoever just joined. Say hello in the comment section. Let me know where you're watching from. So I am going to tell you a little bit about the Writer's Concierge Blueprint because the doors are open, okay? So if you're wondering like, okay, so what is inside of the Writer's Concierge Blueprint and how can this serve me? How can this help me? First of all, I created this program based off of how I was able to write my book and expedite it, right? And so as I was writing, I knew that there were certain milestones that helped me to get my book done, right? And so the first thing was creating that outline, right? And so this is what we do inside of the Writer's Concierge Blueprint. First, we develop your story in detail so that it's correct, okay? So that you are not just writing a story and it's all over the place. So we go through some processes in the beginning so that you're writing for your right targeted audience so that your book is selling before it's even done, okay? So that's the first thing. Hey Anita, welcome. And so we go through the whole process and we make sure that you're set up for success from the beginning. Why? Because I don't want you to write a book and it's not selling, right? We don't want that. So what we do is the first week we cover market research to make sure that you are writing a book for your target audience, right? So if you're saying, I want to help other women who has been through some of the things that I've been through, and I want to talk to those women, I want to share my story with them, I want them to know that what I've been through and these are the steps that has helped me, we target specifically for you inside that first week, right? And so the feedback that I have gotten from my clients who have already been through the process is that this is the most beneficial, right? This is the most beneficial. Why? Because a lot of times you can go at it alone and you're like, maybe my book is for older women. Maybe my book is for high school students. Sometimes it feels like it could be for everybody, but no, your book is targeted for a certain audience, and that's what we break down in week 1, okay? So before we even start writing, we start targeting who are you writing this book for, right? What are the problems that you're solving with your book, okay? After we get through that process, then we start the writing process of building out your blueprint, building out that outline, specifically extracting out the stories, the experiences, the challenges that you have been through in your life and how to pull it all together and bring it to reality, right? And so we create your blueprint. The thing that I love about this blueprint is that it's not just like you writing it out. No, 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 no. So people are shocked when you actually get inside the Writer's Concierge blueprint that you create online this whole coggle, and it has colors and it's really beautiful, right? And so you know what your story is about. It's like a mind map but virtually, right? So you get to see every single part of your story, right? And then from that, that's when you start to develop your outline and everything formulates. So after you create that, I review it, right? Because this is the foundation of your book. So I want to make sure that your foundation is straight, is correct, so that when you are done, you know that I have a blueprint. I know that I can get speaking engagements from this blueprint. I know that I can write a book that is sellable, okay? And I know how to target my audience. So this is really, really important, and that's something that I go over with you. So after we do that, okay, then you start the writing process, right? And then I have a whole strategy on naming your book, right? And so we go through to make sure that your book the title is named correctly, that you don't have too many words on your book cover. We talk about when you should start looking into developing your book cover, what questions you need to ask, okay, when you should hire an editor. The whole process from start to finish, by the time the eight weeks are done, not only is your manuscript done, but now you have a strong sense of what direction you want to go. And so the reason why I set it up like this is because when I was writing my book, I was bouncing back and forth. Should I go to a traditional publisher or should I self-publish, right? And I had to do some work, and it was a lot of work involved, right? And so inside of the Writer's Concierge Blueprint, I give you the strategy if you do want to take your book to a big publishing house, right? And what you have to do that. The publishing houses that are out there, you need to know who they are, right? And then if you want to self-publish, which most of my authors do, and a lot of them end up stepping into my publishing company, but I also give you the strategy, the roadmap, so that if you decide, you know what, I'm going to start my own publishing company and I'm going to publish my story under my publishing company, you can do that, right? So you have options. You're not just going through you're not just writing your story and then you're done, okay? So there's a whole process. So this is for you if you have been struggling to get your book completed, if you have been struggling on understanding what your next step should be, when you should hire an editor, how much you should pay your editor, because we talk about all of that. If you should hire a hybrid publisher, what is a hybrid publisher? So a hybrid publisher is someone like myself where if you step into my publishing company, you own the rights of your book. So I don't take any of your sales. The only thing I do is help you to package your your book. So your book cover, your editing, all of that, you hand it off to me. When you come back, it's all done for you, and you own everything. We take care of all of your copyrights, all of that. But that's separate. That's publishing, right? So what I do is I give you the option to step in. Those of you who step into the Writer's Concierge Blueprint, depending on if you come in front row seating or backstage VIP, either way you get a credit for publishing, right? So if you come in front row seating, you get a credit of $250 towards publishing if you decide to come into the Writer's Concierge Blueprint. I'm sorry, if you decide to come into TAS Publishing. Now, if you come in VIP backstage, you get a $500 credit, right? And there's other bonuses that go along with that. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But inside of the Writer's Concierge Blueprint, this is for you if you are someone who you like, this is my year. I want to be an author this year. Over the summer, I will be helping 50 authors to become 50 writers who will be authors this year. Okay, so over the summer, my goal is to help 50 so that when the summer is done, now you can start bringing in sales for Black Friday. Because what I see is that a lot of people are waiting until the last minute to get their products out there, and you can't wait to do that. Okay, so again, this is for you if you don't know the publishing process, okay? If you think no one is going to read your story, if you've been writing, starting and stopping, okay? If you have been just trying to figure out how to pull it all together, this is going to take all that confusion out. If you want to, and then we cover if you're stuck on, well, how many pages should I be writing for nonfiction? You know, how do I know if I've written enough? How much should go in a chapter? All of those things we uncover inside of the Writer's Concierge Blueprint. This is my baby. I'm super duper excited about it. Okay, so if you have any reservation or you're thinking about it or you're on the fence, I would highly recommend that you book an appointment. You can click the link above this video. I will tell you that it is application only, so there I have to be on the phone with you and I have to talk. I like to hear where you are with your story and what your story is about so that I can make sure that this is the right program for you. There's a couple of questions that you fill out when you click the link above this video. It's not long. It's I think 6 questions. When we get on a phone call, it's super duper easy. It's super duper fast. I usually just ask, you know, what is your story about? You give me some information. I will let you know if this is a fit for you or if it's not. And then I will make some recommendations if we're not a good fit, okay? So that's how that process would go, okay? And then from the phone call, then if you are a fit, then we start rolling into you know, which option is the best fit for you, and then you will get access to the program. What I will say is that this is not a program that is it's not one of those forget it and set it. So this is a live program. So we have our first phone call on July 29th, okay? So when you sign up and we get on a call and you get your welcome email and all of those things, what happens is you get access to the first 2 modules, and then after that, then we have our first phone call, like I said, on the 29th. We have 8 phone calls each week. I review your work of your blueprint, okay? Some of you who will step into VIP, there's more bonuses that go along with that. And so for those of you who, you know, need a strategy with like your book launch and how to get sales right away, there is the VIP component of that where I actually help you to do your book launch strategy, your content strategy, so that you can start selling your book as your book is now, your manuscript is now completed and now it's passed off into publishing. Now you start rolling in your sales before your book is even done. Okay, so listen, you have some options here. And so I just wanted to say that I have some special things going on. So for those of you who sign up within the next 24 hours or even just book a call, I'm going to be sending you a copy of my book, My Broken Stiletto, A Woman's Guide to Up-Leveling Your Faith, Finances, and Fashion. So for those of you who decide to get on a call with me, you will get a free copy of my book shipping. You don't have to pay anything. And so for those of you who book a call within the next 24 hours, you will get that bonus. And yeah, it will be very, very impactful for you. I hope. And so that's it. Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that the doors for the Writer's Concierge Blueprint is open. Okay, this is for you if you you know you have a deep story, you have something, a message, and you know that it's time for you to level up, or you have a brand and you know that the next step for you is to write a book, or you want to build a brand and you know that the next step for you is to write a book, or you've had stories that it's been all over the place and you're like, I've been dragging my feet for too long. If you've been sitting on ideas for years, okay, this is the time to really step up. This is the year. People are waiting to hear what you have to say. Okay, there's no better time like the present to really step up and, show up for the people who need to hear what you have to say. So, that is it. If you would like to apply, all you need to do is click the link above this video, okay? And I look forward to seeing you inside of the program. And I will talk to you all soon. Have a great day.